Gang. I got my girls with me.
Got my hitters with me.
Hey. Go CP. Go CP. Okay, CP. Bounce.
Too much.
It's giving a lot of Britney Spears. It's giving a lot of sparkles. But honestly, we just wanted to match the occasion, which was an incredible national championship, something that we would hope that we have seen. And like, here's the thing when it comes to natties. Right? We always talk about this. The stage is there, the eyeballs are there, and then you hope that the girls on the court can deliver, and oh my God, did they deliver.
The pressure that is on a team that not only are they going for a championship, they're undefeated. That's a lot of pressure, right. And South Carolina was able to hang on, to handle that, to bring their defense after that first quarter and carry it through.
Look, these women are different. Period. Because, I mean, this is a South Carolina team, as you mentioned, undefeated, and they deliver after the trials and tribulations of last year. And then on top of it, they were going up against Caitlin Clark. Man. My goodness, the weight that she carries with her game, and then her ability to still show up in the biggest moments. Y'all, what history did she make off of the jump? First, 18 points.
Most points in a tournament.
Yeah.
Most points in a tournament.
She's like, let me just get that out of the way after the first quarter.
Moore's record.
That too, yes.
Yeah. So, like, these women, just to meet the moment and deliver when all the eyeballs are watching, I mean, kudos.
I can't get over it. Like, I'm learning. We talk about when we watch these athletes achieve greatness and how it's inspiring. Like, not many people get an opportunity to work in a career where you're inspired to be better. And as I watched Caitlin Clark come out and put up 18 in the first quarter, but then watch South Carolina respond. And then when South Carolina responded, Iowa responded. If you watch, nobody panicked. Iowa didn't panic. South Carolina didn't panic. And because of that, we had a great
instant classic
game. Treasure.
But you know what else? You talk about inspiration. You had freshmen. I mean, it wasn't the upperclassmen that came in and took over. The freshmen, Tessa Johnson and Malaysia Full-Wiley. Come on now.
Yeah, so I felt that way. Like, first of all, we've talked about this a lot. I love being right. And Dawn Staley mentioned that we put a lot of pressure on them because every single person on this desk, like we knew Aaliyah was going to choose South Carolina, but every person on this desk picked South Carolina to win. It feels a little bit like they were Thanos, like this season was inevitable. But also it was a revenge game. I want to give a few shout outs for people who, like, if you just look at the box score, Raven Johnson didn't have a particularly great shooting night for her.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter because when we talk about Caitlin Clark getting that 18 points in the first quarter, which, by the way, was the most in a quarter in title history, oh my gosh, it wasn't on Raven Johnson. Like, for the entire day, she only allowed 7 points when she was being guarded by her. But when you talk about Tessa Johnson, ice water in the veins, she set a career high and a title game, and the only other person that's done that in the last 25 years was another Gamecock and Destiny Henderson. Poise, confidence, and it wasn't like she was just hitting wide open shots. Tessa came in the game and created opportunities for herself, catching on and then a one dribble pull up. Boy, poise, control. Like, I have a therapist to this day. You know how much my therapist would have had to get me ready for that game?
Overtime.
As a freshman, I would have been panicked. No panic, complete confidence. Tessa's a dog, and she's just a freshman.
No stress on her face. She looked so relaxed out there, like she was just in the playground having a good time.
They don't panic because they're coached by Dawn Staley. They've been saying it time and time again. Why should I sweat if Coach Staley ain't sweating?
Right.
And I think people don't understand this. As someone who has played the game at the highest level in the WNBA, what I have seen is through Dawn being one of the greatest players we have ever seen. Talking about Olympians, one of those players that birthed the next generation, the creation of the WNBA. Then now she's turning into building a dynasty, 3 championships in 7 years. She's one of one when it comes to that.
You know what's really special, too, when Coach Staley came and talked to us and said they were singing before the game, and she had to resist the temptation to rein them in. Coach Staley's ability to let this team be themselves. You do your best work when you can be yourself and you're confident in who you are, you're confident in what you bring. That's in any field. But Coach Staley, with this group, to let them thrive as just young, carefree, careless, she could have reined them in. She could have kept them tight.
She is herself already, like she was already dancing. She danced at shoot around yesterday and danced after the championship.
You were a coach, that's got to be hard. Like,
it is hard.
I got something. What do you do before games when you were coaching?
Oh, I was in the locker room. I'm dancing by myself. I got busted one time.
What?
All by myself. And the managers forgot something, and they come in. You know, I hear the keypad, and they come in. I'm in mid.
It's freeze. Wait, what was your song of choice? Like, what were you dancing to?
Oh, anything.
Anything.
But, you know, Brick House was my jam.
Okay. Brick.
Oh. She's my letting it all hang out.
I think the other thing that's really cool about what Dawn did was she took a minute. okay? Because there's a whole lot of like, we understand sort of the cultural war aspect of Iowa versus the South Carolina team.
Right.
It's been there. It's been ever present. The cultural aspect, trying to pit each other against each other when it comes to Caitlin Clark, a transcendent player, but a white player. And how for so long, so many of us were sort of overlooked in our contributions. And like, we get all of that. I thought it was so classy, as they've been trying to sort of trap Dawn all year into saying something negative about Caitlin, for her to stand on that stage holding that trophy and acknowledge Caitlin Clark. And I want to play that sound right now.
And I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport. And it just is not going to stop here on the collegiate tour. But when she is the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, she's gonna lift that league up as well. So Caitlin Clark, if you're out there, you are one of the GOATs of our games. That we appreciate you.
Like, what a classy move for her when her team had taken that stage just to acknowledge the contributions of Caitlin Clark, which, by the way, we will never have anybody, to this point we haven't anyway, that has transcended the sport in that way, that has brought more attention to the sport, and you've got to acknowledge her contributions.
I mean, what stone did she leave unturned other than the national championship? But the point is that no one that has had the weight of the world has really won it to be that one player. What'd you say? She played with no one in the top 100?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know the exact number, but 100%. Like, the way that she uplifted her teammates. Like, people were giving me a hard time talking about this Iowa team. When you talk about the other greats, there was at least one lottery pick that played alongside the greats, but Caitlin made her teammates look like lottery picks. Like Kate Martin and the 1-foot fadeaway, and Gabby Marshall diving on the floor to save the ball. Like, the way that they played together through Caitlin and around Caitlin was really special.
Miss Hannah Stolke.
Hannah
impressed me.
Superstar
3 minutes
Stolke.
last year in the national championship, and then one of her best tournaments.
Unbelievable.
But can we talk about what Caitlin Clark has done all season long? She's brought eyeballs to the game.
Yes.
She's brought you to arenas to see opposing teams that you go, oh, yeah, they can play too.
Yeah.
Lined up outside wherever Iowa played, which then also wherever LSU played, wherever South Carolina played. Women's basketball is at a whole nother level this year because of players like Caitlin Clark.
The most expensive ticket, y'all.
100%.
Right.
I had someone ask me, do you think Caitlin's getting too much attention? And I said, what? Hell no, she's not getting
She's finally getting the attention she deserves.
Everything Caitlin is doing on the court, she deserves all of this attention.
Yes.
She's that good.
And the flowers.
It's not like she's not good. She's tough. She is nice. Like, all the attention, she deserves all of it.
You know what I was thinking about too? Like, I obviously didn't play any collegiate, athletics in college, but my sister was a collegiate athlete, and she played at a D2 school in like softball. But I remember how difficult it was for her to balance being just a student athlete, like just the trials and tribulations of trying to be your best and train and win a championship and also navigate school and getting a degree. And you guys have all been there before, but they're also doing it and having to run complete businesses, NIL deal, endorsements, taking the most of their, like, all of these things it's just absolutely bananas to think about all of the things that they're having to balance. So yes, while 20, 30 years ago, these players would have loved to have this level of attention, they are still navigating a completely different space. And kudos to all of these young women who at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old are not just navigating being student athletes, but also business women as well.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think about this is when we were growing up, we always wanted to fit in, right? Like, I always joke that you wear the same clothes. I don't want that. I was a girl in the suburbs. So it's like, you want those Abercrombie jeans that never hit the floor for me.
Oh, my gosh.
Or you want that Hollister top that my mama would never let me get, right?
My mom was like, we are not
She's
spending
like,
$70 on them ripped up jeans.
But this is a generation that loves to be different, to stand out. And to me, that just is a different level of confidence. This is also a generation that had the benefit of being able to watch women and say, that's my favorite player.
Right.
So I'm like, Caitlin,
they're females.
Thank you.
Men.
Exactly.
Yes.
WNBA starting in 1996. So, like, I mean, Aaliyah here was born in 2001.
I can't even.
And so, like, it shows.
You know what else it is, too? It's a generation that wants to be different, but they also accept each other's differences.
Yes.
Whether it's within teams or whether it's within opponents. You hear Paige giving Caitlin her respect. You hear Caitlin giving Angel Reese her respect. They're all different, and they respect those differences. They do a better job respecting differences than a lot of fans do, and then a lot of people on the outside do. Like, we could learn
Correct.
from the way these women carry themselves on multiple
and
fronts.
uplift each other.
Truly.
Absolutely, and I think that is now their responsibility, though, to carry that on.
Yes.
I mean,
The
we
young
do.
girls that are watching them
Yeah.
now to carry that on, to pass on the importance of the respect for each other between the lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's key.
I mean, we did have one of the best ever freshman classes watching. I know we're talking and
Hello.
saluting the singers,
Yeah.
but the freshmen, I mean, they were all stars. Juju, Hannah Hidalgo.
Game's in good hands.
The game's
Yes.
The game is
best
in good
of
hands. I feel like for Tessa Johnson, too, it was like, oh, you guys keep talking about Malaysia full while. Allow me to reintroduce myself as well. The future certainly looks bright. I just want to take a second to acknowledge these amazing girls. Y'all know I always cry, so I'm not going to get emotional. But every single one, oof. I love you all. I'll leave it there. I love you guys so
We
much.
love you, Elle.
And
Love you too.
And this is like a little mini edition of the Elle Duncan Show because there's a lot of things that we're all balancing, including being a mom. I am not going to work tomorrow. I'm going to go spend some time with my kids. I love you guys, and we will see you on Thursday when Gary finally comes back from the longest trip to Disney World by himself of all time.
We love you, Elle.
Love you, Elle.
guys.
Love you.